traders, what up investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for this fantastic video. What we're going to be looking at today, we're going to be looking at Tesla, their sales numbers, and really their deliveries, what they got in Q1 basically of this year, Q1 of 2021. We're going to be looking at the year-over-year growth, and then we're going to be kind of just looking at the chart here, looking at if Tesla can have this very large catalyst. Because again, if you haven't looked at Tesla for a while, it has been somewhat beaten up, has seen some pretty impressive moves in the last week or so, and we'll just have some fun from there. So already, let's sit back and let's dive into some of this content. All right. First and foremost, we want to look here at this breaking news. Of course, Tesla delivered 184,800 vehicles in Q1, far outpacing estimates, increasing 109% year over year. Of course, this is via Twitter. You're going to see all the trolls come out and kind of attack it, the bears and so forth. And you see people saying delivery equal new sales, blah blah blah. It says because what I hear what I hear, like not what the facts are, what I hear is like I also hear that my cholesterol is too high, but whatever. Because of what I hear, Tesla supply chain issues and backlogs, I think the sales numbers are far more important than the fulfillment numbers. Whatever. Shorts are going to get wrecked. Fire. Far outpaced. It's like 5% over consensus, which is fairly big, actually. 5% is actually fairly large when you're talking on a scale of things. So looking at the numbers here, we can go to the official Tesla press release. Of course, I love this the Tesla truck here just kind of flying and dropping in the good news. We're seeing here, of course, what the production is and what the deliveries were. So, of course, they backlogged whatever. I think everyone knows that there is a issue with getting chips as of right now. Again, like Taiwanese semiconductor, or ticker symbol TSM, and multiple other semiconductors have said, hey, there's a backlog. You see AMD stock's been being hit. There's just a lot of issues with the supply chain right now on really everything. The demand is so high. It's not like due to supplies are low. It's just due to the demand is so high that the suppliers can't keep up. So it's kind of like a good problem to kind of have, like the demand's super hot, but we'll just have to ramp up. The company's going to ramp up to meet the demand. So it's not like demand is low and they're just trying to push in products. It's the demand's super high. So looking at this here, of course, they delivered that 184,800 vehicles. That is substantial. So if we go back to just a year ago, you can kind of see here on quarter one of 2020, they only delivered 88,400 in that same time, and just a year ago. So that's pretty fantastic, where they literally ramped up almost 100,000 vehicles. That is impressive, right? That's why we're getting that 100 number year over year growth. Even from the difference from the quarter of 2020 Q4. Again, just up ever so slightly, because again, their Q3 and Q4 are one of their largest fulfillment times, where the most people are purchasing a vehicle during around that Q3 Q4 earnings, or that cycle in the year. You can see here how many the production was pretty high. Even going back to this one, they produced 100,000. A little over 100,000, and then just last year or last quarter they did 180. So that's again impressive numbers. Q4 to Q1, it is a step up just ever so slightly, but it's still an improvement. You can still see here that they just came under for 2020 the 500,000. Of course, Elon Musk has gone on and saying that they're trying to get 1 million vehicles delivered this year. So they're basically 18.5% there to meet that fulfillment. So again, they still have 75% of the year left to meet that consensus, even though there could be some headwinds with what we just talked about towards the beginning of the video on chip shortages, supply chain issues, and so many other factors regarding around that. Even though in 2020 the Tesla factory was closed down for an extended period of time in California. So they still did fantastic numbers. So looking forth to see this number grow here. Of course, we would need to see this grow, not substantially, but we need to start getting up to like 200 to 250 here to make that 1 million number for this year. So it's going to be quite interesting to see on how that continues to perform, even though we have the potentially of having increased EV tax credit. So that could be a larger incentive for folks to get out there and get an EV car, which is this guy's incentive as well. So if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe down below so Ken can get that Model X. Greatly appreciate it. I'm just joking. But I do want that Model X though. That looks sick. Anyways, so let's go ahead and just jump right into the chart here. We're going to talk about some options that we did see, and we do have earnings coming out. So we have the question mark earnings coming out the end of April. I believe what I read online, I can show it here. Let's see. I think it was Tesla's potential earnings are coming out. Was it May 5th? It looks like May 5th was what Tastyworks is saying. We're going to look at that, some options trades there as well. On that, we saw some interesting activity in. As you can see here on the chart here, we've seen it been very choppy here. It's actually been hit that $900 range. It never really breached above that. It has touched the tails here multiple times. So that wall at 900, we're just going to put it around 875. Really going to be a substantial area to break through. And if we do get that momentum and push through, I think this thing could really run. With comparisons to NIO and the Chinese companies, a lot of these EVs are somewhat trading the same. The chart looks fairly much the same. We leveled off here in the month of January, and this has been coming down, maybe getting a double bottom here for NIO as well. But I think everyone knows that I'm more of a Tesla bull. I just know the Tesla in and outs much more than NIO and the Chinese EV stocks, which I'm not against. I just know more about this. Is why I just know my bread and butter is Tesla. Let's be honest. And the fact, so I have some very key levels that I'm looking for. Coming into this week, if we go into a short time frame, this week was pretty impressive. So I have to give a little golf clap to Ryan. He made a ballsy call and went pretty YOLO on a call option within Tesla, and it really rocketed higher. I don't know. I think he bought like weekly calls. He bought it for like, I'm trying to find it in the Discord. And if you haven't joined the Discord, please check it out. It's a fantastic community. We talk about stocks, we talk about snacks, we talk about food, we talk about all kinds of different things. And just a great little place to hang out, a great little community that I'm trying to build and cultivate and just have a really good time, and want to be potentially implementing some other new things into that. Again, that link is down below if you want to check out the Discord as well. Completely free, no obligations there, my friends. So looking here at what we could see in that trade, really hit at that really sharp bottom here around that $600 range in the short term has been some pretty significant support with Tesla, and really seeing it rocket higher here and just really just drive here over the last 2 days and kind of selling off coming to Thursday. Because again, recording this video on a Friday, today the market is closed to observing of Good Friday and the Easter holiday. We're seeing that really rocket higher here, but then towards of yesterday, we're getting a little bit of a sell-off because we hit that potential top here around that 700 to 690 range. If we zoom back out to the daily chart, you kind of see here that falls in right with what? The parabolic SAR dots. These are probably some of the most underrated indicators that I see a lot of people not utilize. The parabolic SAR dots really help contain if you're more of a trend follower. So these parabolic SAR dots really can tell a pretty compelling story, let's be honest here. And really seeing this, literally the tick hit that dot and then just stop. Like, not saying it's voodoo magic or black magic or white magic or whatever yellow magic. It's very much, it hit a level. There is no moving average there whatsoever, but it hit that level here where the trend kind of stopped. The volume has been somewhat stagnant and nothing too outlandish. So we can go here to the fantastic volume chart there as well. So again, if you want to get the volume chart here, I will share this within the Patreon and as well as the YouTube membership. I can share this chart with the members there. There's nothing too proprietary about this one, I think. But yeah, this one is, I love looking at this one. This really helps me build the trend here. So we're seeing here very low volume. We're actually under the last 20 days of volume. So on average, the last 20 days, Tesla's been trading around 42 to 41 million shares. And look at this. We have been so underneath that for a very extended period of time. At the same time, the trend's been very choppy here because, again, the trend, I love this chart. It's just so simple. Red means like, ooh, it's the trend is not going up. It's kind of going down. White is kind of like a capitulation moment, or like, it might be changing, it might not. But you really see that trend change trying so urgently to try to get above $700 there to really see that trend change. On the weekly side, same kind of thing. We are coming down, potentially kind of consolidating here. I kind of want to put this in like a box here to potentially see on how it plays out here. So looking here on the chart here, we can clearly see that $700 range has been some overhead resistance. And to the downward side, we're really looking for like 600 to potentially hold, but we just kind of capped the bottom around that 563, which was a low here back at the beginning of March. At the same time, we are still below the 21 EMA on the daily chart. So that is that yellow line here, and really seeing this really having a little bit of issues to kind of get above that. But we're still in consolidation mode like we saw with the NASDAQ. So let's kind of look at some of the trades that I saw, which if people aren't too familiar with what a counter spread is, that's really what we're seeing here. We saw someone purchase the April 16th of this year, the 850 call, and then the May 21st 850 call. So what this potentially could be looking at, so the April 16th is only 14 days away, and then the May 21st is the next monthly expiration, of course, which is 49 days away. But guess what happens in that time frame? We have earnings coming out potentially in the beginning of May, which is not completely confirmed yet because, again, we have that question mark there. So potentially what this trader, investor, hedge fund, or YOLO person is thinking about, which kind of makes me thinking as well, we potentially see this executed twice. It could just be in a very quick trade, but it kind of had my scratching my head. I'm like, that might be a pretty interesting way to play Tesla, is just doing a counter spread. So if you're not familiar with a counter spread, we can kind of bring over Tastyworks to go. And this is what I use for trading my stock as well, in options as well. I highly recommend it if you want a fantastic platform. There's an affiliate link down below if you want to help support the channel. If you open up an account of $2,000 or more, you have a chance of selecting 100 stock or 10 call options. So and that pool gets constantly updated there as well. So looking here at the old Tesla. So what is a long call spread? And the reason why I love Tastyworks is they have like this strategy little thing down here, and you can just plop in your strategy and what you want to go long, short, whatever, and then you just hit go, and it kind of creates a strategy, and then you can kind of move things around. So mimicking the orders that we saw yesterday, of course, the Thursday, we saw someone purchase the 850 call for April. So potentially if they're going long, if they're going to be a little bit more bullish on the chart here, you can play it as a long call spread. So what you would do is sell this particular option, the 850, and then you would buy an option further out. So basically what this does, it just brings down the total cost of the debit. So instead of paying maybe $9 for the call, for the whole trade, you're actually paying like $8 or something. So in this case, it could potentially be like $9.50 or so $9.50 for the whole trade. But if you add the short call into this, it brings it down by like 15% with that $100 deduction there. So the play is, it's quite interesting. So we're basically seeing this, if Tesla can stay below 850 in this April expiration, But then at the same time, we want it to see it go higher here to at least 850 come the following earnings. So if we do get an earnings boost, because you can kind of see here looking at the options tree, the expected move for April's expiration is only plus or minus $60. But then you start seeing the May expiration, which is 49 days away, is a plus or minus 120. So nearly double. And you see that the IVs are slightly higher. Again, not completely confirmed. We do see Tastyworks saying giving it May 5th potentially, but it's not confirmed. I usually like to have two consensus things telling me the same thing at the same time. This looks pretty impressive. So we do get that move around 120 or above. So the stock's currently trading at what? 670-ish. So 120 would be kind of putting it up slightly higher to almost to the $800 range. But if we get that aggressive movement higher, that this option is pretty substantially far out of the money. And you can kind of see here, it's actually outside of the deviation channel. So that 840 to 845 would be something closer to potentially look for. That you could really see. But look at that volume that we saw just on Thursday, and a lot of open interest on these contracts. So you can play this two different ways. If you're going to be a little bit more bullish on Tesla, this is something you can do. But at the same time, you can do the complete opposite. You can sell this call and then go to the April timeframe and then buy that call. So you're basically going to be receiving a credit. It's going to be a lot of buying power that's effective without a doubt. But at the same time, if we go into this options chain here, so they did 1977, which is a quite interesting number. So we'll do 1977. So this is why I'm a little hesitant of like, maybe they did not do this because like that's a lot of buying power effective, unless they have like crazy hedge fund portfolio margin. It takes a lot of buying power. So we're talking well over almost $100 million. So that's why I'm a little bit more like, they're probably going to do this the other way. So they're actually going to be selling this one here and then going into the May here and playing this one like so. So that makes it a little bit more reasonable. It's like a $1.6 million of buying power. You see that the theta decay is pretty severe here at $22,000. So if the stock does next to nothing over this whole time, if you know that negative theta is just going to deteriorate and just eat away at those calls and just continue to drive and take money into the beast here. But the deltas are fairly high here. So if this does get any kind of substantial move and we see Tesla really just rocket ship higher, this thing could really print here and really get up to a doubling in a very short period of time. But it's very risky because guess what? Like options, expirations, and knowing on your levels and things like that is very key here to potentially seeing what we're looking for. So where's that price target? 850. 850s is putting it right up here, which was basically closer to the top here. Do you think Tesla can hit 850 or even 800 in the next couple weeks? I'm optimistic, and I think if the market turns around and the yields kind of come down here a little bit, the yield curve, of course, the mostly highlighting the 10-year yield coming down, maybe staying at 1.7, not going up to 1.8, 1.9. This can easily drive up Tesla here as well. But we're still, again, in that chop mode. We are trying to break out of that range, but really need to start seeing it above 700 and really seeing it above that 736 to 750, where is currently the 50 SMA there. So on that note, hopefully you learned something from this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. And again, guys, have a great, fantastic Easter, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.